To do the male Foley catheter, I would review my orders, obtain my supplies, then I would go and introduce myself to the patient. I'd identify them using 2 ways. I would wash my hands, I would assess the patient, make sure they needed them. I would review to make sure they don't have any allergies to shellfish or latex. I would provide privacy, make sure I have adequate lighting, and then I would raise the bed for proper body mechanics. So to prepare my patient, I'd place the patient supine with slightly spread apart, and then I'd expose just the peri area. I would then don my non-sterile gloves. I would then take my basin of water, going to cleanse the patient, starting at the meatus, going down each side using a new side of my washcloth every time. Then I would go down each side of the scrotum and then down the center using a new side of my washcloth every time. Then I would remove my gloves and wash my hands. So to do the procedure, I would organize my work area. I'd start by opening my sterile catheter kit, making sure just to touch the outside. And I would use that as part of my sterile field. Then I would carefully grab my sterile gloves and then use this to continually expand my sterile field. I would take my first drape, make sure it is shiny side down, and place this under the patient. I'd take my second drape, making sure it is also shiny side down. I then start opening my kit. I'd first make sure that my balloon works. Then I would take my catheter out. I'd leave 4 to 6 inches. I would then go to the penis. I would retract the foreskin, start cleansing the meatus in a circular motion, going down the shaft. I'd use a new one each time, starting out the meatus in a circular motion, continuing to go farther down the penis with every one. Then I would take the catheter, I would raise the penis. I'd tell my patient to bear down. I'll gently insert the catheter. 7 to 9 inches, and then once I got urine backflow, I'd continue to do an additional 1 to 2 inches. Once it's in there, I would fill the balloon. I would use tape and secure the cath on the patient's leg. I'd hang this on the side of the bed rail, or bed frame. I would then cleanse the penis and provide pericare again, and then I would remove the drapes. I would remove my gloves, wash my hands, assess the patient, return the patient to comfort and safety. Then I would document the procedure and the patient's response to the procedure. I would put on my non-sterile gloves. I would drain, before this, I would have drained the tube and then I would have clamped it. And once it's full, I'd come back and then I would sterilize the port. I would then insert my needle, draw back 20 to 30 cc's. I would then put it in my sterile urine cup, making sure not to touch the sides. I would then close it. I would put my label on. I use my biohazard bag. I would put my orders in the front of the biohazard bag and I would transport it to lab. Then I would unclamp the tube and return patient to a position of comfort and safety. To remove the catheter, I would review my orders, obtain my supplies, and I'd go into the patient's room. I would make sure and introduce myself, wash my hands, and then I would identify my patient in 2 ways. I'd assess my patient, make sure it needs to be taken out. I'd explain the procedure, answer any questions. I'd provide privacy and lighting. I would make sure and use good body mechanics and reconfirm the allergies. And then I would don my non-sterile gloves. I would put my position in supine with like slightly spread apart and then just expose the peri area. I would put a waterproof pad under my patient. I would remove the tape. I would make sure and deflate all 10 cc's of the balloon. Then I would just instruct the patient to relax. And I would gently remove the catheter. I would discard all of the urine that was in the bag. Discard it into a biohazard bag, and then I would provide pericare again, and then I would remove my gloves, wash my hands. I would explain to the patient to monitor the first few voidings and encourage them to increase their fluids, and then I would turn my patient to a position of comfort and safety, and then I would document my procedure.